trying to save money with the animals and with ourselves is using free or cheap resources. We have been getting free spent brewer grains from a local brewery, and we've been feeding them to our chickens and our goats to help cut down on those costs. And just recently I found out that you can make dog treats from those, and that you can also make food for ourselves. So today we are going to try making some spent brewer grain cookie bars. The first part of making these bars is you need your spent brewer grains to be dry. A lot of ways that I've seen to dry them is cooking them for hours in the oven, which seems like an extra cost to be cooking and baking them all day long in the oven. So an idea I had was to put them in cookie sheets on top of our wood stove, which we're already have going to heat our house. And the fan in the background normally is on, but it's really loud. And the fan and the heat from the stove help dry it, and just kind of, I come in a couple times a day, kind of stir them around until they get really dry. I'll also kind of just use my hands, that way I can feel how wet they are. You need these grains completely dry. If there's any moisture to them at all, they will go moldy fast. Here's my bag of dry spent brewer's grain, ready to make into cookies or dog treats. Okay, our first ingredient is 1 cup of spent grains. To those grains we'll add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. You could probably try this with wheat flour, we may in the future. Then add to that, we'll have 1/2 cup of white sugar. And then to that, we'll add 1 cup of chocolate chips. The recipe I'm using also suggested putting in dried cranberries or raisins. My kids don't really love either of those, so we just left them out. So in another bowl, you need to mix your wet ingredients. We have 1/2 cup of honey. As you can see in my bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and 3 tablespoons of butter, and you'll need that melted. Pour that in there. Need 1 egg. You add 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then mix up your wet ingredients. You want to stir your wet and dry ingredients until they are really well mixed. My mixture is all stirred, and I put it into a greased 9x13. There doesn't seem to be a lot of the batter in the pan. I may have to double this recipe in the future. You want to cook this now at 350 degrees for 20 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like after 20 minutes. Here's how it looks after 20 minutes. So it's still pretty soft, but you want to pull it out after that 20 minutes and let it cool for several hours, and then it'll be ready to cut up and eat. Okay, we're gonna do our taste test. You wanna try it, big guy?